Welcome to the latest installment of Dishonorable Mentions, wherein we outline various candidates for the chosen few who, for various reasons, didn't get full videos. Reasons such as no verifiable pictures of the smooth brains involved, or the news reports weren't detailed enough to tell an entire, albeit short, story. Sometimes the most I can do is verify that the stories are true. But first, I want to apologize for my absence this week. I've not been feeling all that well, and this coming week might not be great either. I start the Ocrevus infusions for my MS on Wednesday. I'm not exactly thrilled about sitting with a needle in my arm for hours, nor am I sure how I'm going to react to the medication, and the side effects don't sound fun. All things being equal though, if Ocrevus can help slow the progression of the MS, I'm willing to give it a try. Anyway, on with the video. Number 1. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, a man named Jacob Wise was arrested for shoplifting after removing the security tags stores commonly affix to clothing. As a former retail worker, I can attest that those things are not easy to remove, even with the correct tools to do so. Mr. Wise failed to live up to his name, however, because he was apprehended after setting off the door alarms as he attempted to exit the store. Why? Because after removing the security tags, he put them in his pocket. I am not kidding. I believe Mr. Wise should think about adding an "un" to the start of his last name, just for truth in advertising purposes. Number 2. Meet Reliford Cooper III. He has a long and fairly violent criminal record, with charges that include contempt of court, drug possession, armed robbery, inflicting bodily harm, possession of a weapon by a convicted felon, and aggravated assault. But he's not included here for any of those things. No, he's here because in October of 2015, he led police on a high-speed chase. Why would such a fine, upstanding gentleman do such a thing? Well, he was drunk. When he crashed his car, he then led the police on a short foot pursuit. He was found hiding in a nearby church by members of the congregation who chased him outside into the waiting arms of the Manatee County deputies. Upon his arrest, he told the arresting officers that he wasn't driving. It was the dog. That's not a joke, he actually said that. This has to be the first time I've ever heard what is essentially the dog ate my homework defense outside of middle school, but it is a Florida man story, so maybe I shouldn't be all that surprised. Number 3. In October 2023, a woman in Muncie, Indiana decided to visit a used car dealership to test drive a 2013 Kia Optima. Not all that unusual, I admit. Tens of thousands of people test drive cars every day. What happened next, however, was unusual. The employee readying the car for the test drive had to answer the phone, a phone that had been ringing off the hook for some time, although nobody was ever on the other end. The employee asked the woman to wait a moment. When that employee returned, the car and the woman were gone. Needless to say, the police were called. As part of the investigation, the police were able to use traffic cameras to track the car to Indianapolis, over an hour away. At this point, you might be thinking it's just a typical auto theft case. Except it wasn't. See, the accused car thief returned the vehicle that night. Kinda. She actually left the car in the parking lot of the mall next to the dealership from which she stole it. Kasia Shelton, the alleged car thief, was tracked down because, and I'm not joking here, she was recognized by the employee as someone who had previously filled out forms to buy a different car. Oh, and the reason she stole the vehicle was because she needed to get to Indianapolis for a job interview, as a stripper. She was confused by her arrest because she thought all was well and good since she returned the car. On top of all that, the car was actually stolen from the mall parking lot because Miss Shelton left the keys in it, but it was eventually recovered in Anderson. I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. Number 4. For the love of all that's holy, I implore you to stay away from the booger sugar, folks. It can create way too many problems in life, not the least of which is a more than 2-decade-long rap sheet, like in this Florida man story. In July of 2017, career criminal David Blackmon called 911 to report his car was broken into. The thief took $50 and a quarter ounce of an unlicensed pharmaceutical. When the deputy responding to the call found some more of that unlicensed pharmaceutical in Blackmon's vehicle, along with a rock of a different unlicensed pharmaceutical and the associated pipe to smoke it, Mr. Blackmon was arrested for possession of paraphernalia, and resisting arrest without violence. Blackmon has a long criminal history, as previously mentioned, which dates back to 2001. A history that includes multiple drug charges, endangering a child, child neglect, trespassing in an occupied dwelling, battery, and several probation violations. Look, I've never partaken in illicit drugs, but given how addictive nicotine is, I do at least partially understand that compunction. What I do not understand is calling the police to report the theft of things you know are illegal. Every time. It's a Florida man story every time. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and subscribe or follow the channel. Just those two things alone help the channel and this video be seen by more people. Until the next time, stay safe out there.